Alrighty guys, we're back for Artifact Ramp, and this is a Foundation Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We have 3 Fabrication Foundries, 2 mana artifact, you can tap it for a white mana, spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or activate an ability of an artifact source. Cool, also has a bottom ability here that I'm actually not going to take the time to go over, but it could come in handy at some point. We have a couple Bandits Hall for some more ramp. That ought to do the thing nicely. We have 3 Solemn Simulacrums. 4 mana 2/2. When it enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Also, when this creature dies, you may draw a card. Not half bad. We have 3 Hedron Archives. It's a 4 mana artifact. You can tap it for 2 colorless mana, and you can pay 2, tap it, sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards. Cool stuff. More ramp packed in. We have all 4 Mightstone and Weakstones, of course. It's going to be the main card draw, I suppose, in here, right? But more often than not, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to play it and use the -5/-5 ability as well. And of course, you can tap it for 2 colorless, but this time, this mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells, which is totally fine because most of our top end is actually artifacts anyways. Like a Portal to Phyrexia making the cut as a 1-of, that should do the thing. We have 3 Cityscape Levelers. Okay. When you cast this spell and whenever it attacks, destroy up to 1 target, a non-land permanent. Its controller creates a tapped Power Stone token. It has Unearth for 8 as well. A pretty powerful creature in the right build. We have 3 Meteor Golems too. This is a 7 mana 3/3. When it enters, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. What's important here is it doesn't say if you cast it, right? Which is pretty good if you decide to blink it with something like Eternal Wanderer, the +1 ability on this. Also, the -4 really comes in handy as an extra board wipe that the deck list desperately needs, because we're not playing anything like Sunfall in here. We do have other board wipes though. We have 3 Day of Judgments, and destroying all creatures is fine and dandy. Why not Sunfall though? Well, I don't really want to exile the Solemn Simulacrum. I'd rather destroy all creatures and then get that card draw on the Simulacrum. What else do we got packed in, guys? We have a couple unidentified hoverships because removal is important, and this also happens to fit the artifact theme. 3 Get Lost, removal is important, and Get Lost is pretty darn good, huh? We also have a Spring-Loaded Sawblades, removal is important. Okay, enough of that, right? Spring-Loaded Sawblades also has that bottom ability where you can craft it with an artifact for just a 3 and a white, and I do think that would actually come in handy as powering up the Blade Wheel Chariot should be really easy here. Just tap 2 other untapped artifacts you control, becomes an artifact creature, and it being a 5/5 is kind of significant. We also have 3 clay-fired bricks too. More ways to grab planes out of the deck list, which really comes in handy. The life gain here is pretty huge too. And then I think it'll be all too easy to actually craft this with an artifact. Get a couple, I almost said golems there. No, get a couple gnomes onto the board, and then also have that creatures you control get +1/+1. Yeah, flipping this into Kiln should be really easy in a deck list like this. Also, Clay-Fired Bricks is a pretty decent one to actually blink with that Eternal Wanderer. Maybe we should have even more blinking cards packed in, honestly. Over in the mana base, guys, check this out. Look at all those utility lands. We have a Blast Zone for Crawling Barrens as, I guess, one of our win conditions, right? We have a couple Fountainports, a couple Mirrex. Wow, and we have a Demolition Field as well. So 14 total planes ought to be enough, honestly. I mean, when we're looking at the deck list, that's a lot of colorless. So honorable mentions, guys. A lot of stuff over here. Mazemind Tome almost made the cut. Ironcrag, a Thran Spider. There's the Sunfall. I already brought that up, though. Karn Legacy Reforged could have been pretty cool. More top end like Darksteel Colossus could have been awesome in this one. And Mycosynth Gardens almost made the cut in the mana base as well. Not too much that we would actually like to copy with the Mycosynth Gardens. Remember, if you do copy something, it's not like the Gardens is entering either. It'd be a different ball game if it did count it as entering, though. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. Right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? Would it be crazy of me to say that I'm expecting a lot? Like, I feel like it's actually going to be pretty darn good. All right, we go first. Let's keep it. Let's do it. See what happens here. So I think we can play the plains out quite successfully. Right into Fabrication Foundry would mean a turn 3 Hedron Archive, which means any top end would be just incredible. Okay, Fountainport Foundry. Yeah, a turn 3 Archive? I mean, that would be crazy. Looks like it'll be simple enough to pull off here, unless it gets countered. We could try, no, this is fine. This is totally fine. If it is a counterspell, that is fine. Yeah, we have enough mana in hand anyways, so. All right, Archive on the board. Let's see some top end off the top. We might have to go searching for it here somehow. Kiora, all right. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7th mana about to land. It's kind of crazy, dude. That's a lot of ramp. All right. Okay. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, an enchantment. Okay. Oh, Meteor Golem. Wow. Well, there's our top end. Well, one of them, huh? That's pretty good. I'll take it. Let's do this. I guess we'll get the Mirrex down. 7 mana on turn 4. That is, in fact, some fast ramp, huh? Now, I guess at that point... our top-end Planeswalker would have been a little better for the turn. No, probably not. Okay, so they go Zombify. They go ahead and bring back the Vial. So each opponent sacrifices non-token enchantment of their choice and then sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. Cool. Pretty cool reanimation target. So we have a Hovership, so we can get Blast Zone down successfully. We could draw on the Archive. Wouldn't be terrible. On a utility. 2, 3. So much mana. Let's just play everything. Let's get the Bandit's Hall down. We'll still have 2 open here. 2, 3. If only we had a token on the board too. Yeah. Oh, we have Blast Zone to go to 2 then. Open. Okay, that ends up working out. What we could have done, Bandit's Hall, not tapped the Archive, and we would have had untapped Archive with 2 mana open. The one of the 2 would have been Bandit's Hall. We could have drawn, right? I think I'm counting that correctly. I think I messed up not keeping the Archive open, guys. That's one of those things. If I would have taken time to count the mana, I potentially could have seen that. Oh, Velgavoth and Threshold is ready for Kiora number 3, I guess, if they see it. Because there's 2 in the grave already. All right, let's get Blast Zone to 2. Oh, mana off the top is terrible, guys. That's really bad. Could also go like... No, we'll save the Foundry for another time. I think we should draw on the Archive, right? Probably. Let's do that. Draw 2. See what we see. We still have 4, 5 open. Oh, Cityscape Leveler. And another Meteor Golem, but unfortunately, don't have enough mana now to do that. Fountainport's open, though. Mirrex is open with the pay 2 on the Fountainport. Right? 1, 2, 3. No. 1 short for that, too. I apologize, opponent. I guess we just end our turn, keep the Fountainport open. Our hand should be okay enough. Velgavoth's such a problem, though. How are we going to sacrifice 3 non-land permanents? We'll have a fish. That's 1 of the 3. Zombify. Okay. Yeah, Velgavoth's a big problem. Right. Get Blast Zone to 9. That's something. That would be pretty hard. And take a couple turns, which we don't really have here, so. I guess we have to do something about the Velgavoth, and I guess I don't really know. Let's get a fishy. No. Can't block anyways. Let's go for Mirrex then. Yeah, both of their cards have flying. We might as well not take the damage, go Mirrex instead. Aww. Opponent. So they're keeping one more non-land permanent off the board, so Velgavoth is going to be so difficult to target because I really don't want to sacrifice over here. Could sacrifice the Leveler itself, I suppose. Fabrication Foundry number 2. Am I just like overthinking this? Non-land permanent. So if we go Foundry number 2, we could sacrifice 1 Foundry. We go white source, white source. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's literally all the mana. Okay. Cityscape Leveler. Then Velgavoth. Oh, and then the problem here. Yeah. We're fine. We can't sacrifice Leveler. It's not on the board yet. That's the problem. So, non-land permanents. Foundry. Hovership. The Bandit's Hall. The problem is I'm scared about getting rid of both Foundries because the ability might come in handy, but the card draw on the Bandit's Hall is probably a little better. That's tough decisions, man. I don't know. I really don't. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. Velgavoth is just like such a problem. It could be Zombify number 3 from the opponent, and then like we're in serious danger, dude. Velgavoth's Faithful. Well, that's something. That's Zombify number 3, isn't it? Oh no. All that work. Bitter Triumph. Dude, wow, we're in just so much danger here, aren't we? They actually take the Cityscape Leveler since Velgavoth was on the board, and they can play it by taking the 8 damage, correct? They go ahead and pop our Bandit's Hall. Brutal stuff, opponent. I don't know if there's any way through here, because even if we go... So mana off the top, so we can go Meteor Golem onto the Leveler, but then Velgavoth is just like... I don't know. All right. I guess we pass it back. We're alive for the turn. We might be able to bring Leveler back with an Unearth next turn. They're at 9. They're going back up to 18. Yeah, it's such a problem card that it's like, I don't know what else we could have done. And even my idea of getting like Blast Zone to 9 counters, it's ridiculous, but even doing that won't stop them from bringing back Velgavoth anyways. They go ahead, they play the Bandit's Hall that they took from us. More mana from the opponent, and they didn't power up the Restless Reef, which is actually kind of interesting, right? You know what? Top-end Planeswalker. Let's see it. It is not. But... Wait. Bring it back, then we swing. Then we have 3 non-land permanents. Meteor Golem, Leveler, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting lost in the amount of mana. If we had 1 more mana, we could have gone Archive first. I think. Maybe. Swing. Now we target Velgavoth. And now that Leveler's on the board, that's what I got confused with earlier, right? Now we can sacrifice 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the other ability was when it was cast, so it was on the stack. It wasn't on the board to actually sacrifice. Well, let's see what happens. I think this is the opponent's... oh, wait, yeah. This is the opponent's regardless. Restless Reef. Swing for 7. Aw, Restless Reef. I would have loved to have one more turn, though. Hey, good game, opponent. It was a good one. The reason Blast Zone is still, like, open is because you can go X is 0, I guess, right? Haha! X is 0, confirm! I wonder if there's actually any scenario where doing that would actually matter. You guys, let me know in the comments, is there, like, any ability that you can think of that cares about that? Because it's actually a little silly to think about. Yeah, man, Velgavoth. I mean, any other reanimation target probably would have been easier for us to deal with, right? Like, there's a reason Velgavoth is the go-to reanimation target in general. That's a tough one, dude. Hopefully I played it out well enough. Hopefully I sacrificed the correct things. Or, that being said too, there could have been a different order to play those out. Also, if the opponent would have missed one of the reanimations, then maybe, but I don't know. Because what are the odds that they actually missed it? Well, first of all, I like the hand. I'll keep this. Yeah, I feel like the odds are pretty good that they don't miss their reanimation cards, right? They did play 3 of them that game, though. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. All right, Foundry coming down. The Hovership is probably going to be decent enough here. I'll pick up the Challenger for sure. Blast Zone. This is a pretty slow hand for... wait, why didn't I play the Blast Zone? That's okay. We can play it next turn too. Besides, we'd just be holding up the opponent's turn the whole time with the X's 0 Blast Zone. Screaming Nemesis! Oh no, that would have been much better to exile with the Hovership, but no guarantees that they would have seen it, and we would have just wasted our whole turn. That would have been pretty silly, right? So Blast Zone needs to come down. We need to go X's 2 right away. We need to get it to 3 to pop the Nemesis when it comes time, but if they play more 1-mana cards, it might be okay to do at 1. Oh no, guys. Oh no, I think we're in danger. See, more 1-mana cards. It's tempting, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll only have 6 mana on the board. Oh, crap. All right, it's worth it. It's a 2-for-1, but we're losing mana. It's worth it. We're taking 1 from the hero instead of 2, and it would have been 2 on the swing with the haste. They spent mana on that too. Oh, Hired Claw after the fact. Yeah, no, they wanted to wait, though. They knew the Blast Zone was on the board, so... Demolition Field isn't terrible, as it helps us pick up the Rock Face Village in case they have more hasty things. I think we're just gonna die, though. Crawling Barrens can power up the block, but then Hired Claw is gonna get the boost anyways. Maybe they start with Rock Face Village on the Hired Claw. Realistically, we want to wait. Well, let's just see what they do. They go for the swing. Yeah, they keep the 2 open for the Hired Claw counter. Might just be a lightning strike, right? Let's see. If we would have done Demolition Field on our turn on the village, we also would have thinned out their deck list too, helping them find even more off the top. Yeah, blocking with the Crawling Barrens would have been terrible. They go 4 mana on the mouse. So for the turn then, we go Crawling Barrens and decline. Oh, guys. Oh, I'm confusing myself anyways. Fabrication Foundry can't tap for the Crawling Barrens ability. It's only artifact spells and activate an ability of an artifact source. The Crawling Barrens is not an artifact source, so that's noteworthy. Just more mana off the top too, guys, so we're still too far away from the Cityscape Leveler. Well, that was embarrassing. We didn't do anything this game, guys. Darn. I guess I could have mulliganed. Ah, Burst Lightning. Let's just go for the Demolition Field. Let's pop the Rock Base Village. And then they get another mountain here. It doesn't really matter what we end up doing here. But I'm doing the thing for the sake of doing the thing. And then none of the creatures actually have to get through because Hired Claw's ability just closes this up regardless. Let them get the swing on in. Drop the GGs. Okay, guys. We can totally do better than that, huh? We saw a lot of mana off the top. It was a huge chunk of extra mana, wasn't it? I don't know. I don't know yet. Let's keep the ball rolling. This is not the type of deck list, right? Like, we're ramping, and we're ramping really well, I would hope, for most games, right? And that doesn't mean we want like 23 mana or something. That would just feel weird, because you still want to see mana every turn. Like this hand, for example, right? We go first. That's great news. But if it's anything like the last game, oh dear. At least we have some removal, I guess. And if we miss mana leading up to our turn 4, we're just in like a lot of danger. You know what? We're in danger either way, no matter what. I mean, that's just how the standard meta is, right? We got to try this, see what we can actually pull off, push the deck list to its limits. I think we'll see mana easy peasy anyways. And having the early removal with the Spring-Loaded Sawblades should be good enough for now to help us sustain. Oh, Get Lost is also excellent, but next up, mana. Right? Herd Migration. Okay. Yeah, it's not worth playing Spring-Loaded Sawblades just for the sake of playing it. Hey, mana, hi. Now we need more mana, though. Or I guess some of our early ramp could also work, but that would also be pretty slow. Hey, mana, all right. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah, it lands. No counterspell from the opponent. So, really risky hand. Pushing it to its limit sometimes. Sometimes it's worthwhile seeing what the deck list can actually do. We should probably Get Lost that, right? Probably. 2. Can successfully get Bandit's Haul down first. And then, I guess it's a great trade for them, but do they really want us to draw? You know what? I should have swung first, actually, guys. They don't want us to draw, so they take the 2, yeah. That makes sense. We can't block on the ground anyways. They have blue. We should do this now, right? I think so. I hope so. They get a couple map tokens. They didn't have Caretaker's Talent on the board, so that's important. That's what I learned from yesterday's video, guys. Overlord of Mistmoors, number 2. Really bad news. But Meteor Golem is coming down in no time. Wait, Meteor Golem's coming down right now. Wow. Start with the swing. Now they could trade. But do they really want us to draw a card? They say no, because they don't know if this is a Sunfall style deck list. Ooh. Meteor Golem, come on down, buddy. Bandit's Haul, 2 counters. This is the match, guys. This is the match to showcase as much as possible. Extra card draw on the Mightstone, Weakstone, and whatnot. Holy cow, dude. Overlord after Overlord. Oh, crap. They have a lot in the air. We're on a clock. Oh, crap. They're swinging for 9. Oh, crap, dude. We're down to 7. Yeah. Yeah, we're on a clock. I wasn't really thinking about that. I thought we were okay for a second. That's not good. Oh, we need to remove at least 2 of these, so it's going to be Mightstone, Weakstone. 1, 2, 3, 4 open. But, so if we go 1, 2, okay. We have Archive, but then 5 open for Mightstone, Weakstone, but then we can't go Sawblades. So we have to keep a white source open. Mightstone, Weakstone. We want to take out 2 because there's no guarantee. We don't know what's in their hand. What I'm getting at here. Right, yeah, I hope I'm doing this okay. Would we just do this on our turn? Same thing, man. While they got their blue sources tapped out, I'm pretty sure we go for this. Can't block on the ground anyway, so we're also just going to swing. They got 4 in the air. Let's see what happens. No creature lands to power up. Zerr! I should have kept a blocker back, guys. This one's my fault, right? Good game, opponent. Oh no, I should have seen that coming a mile away. That was good though, opponent. That was good. Wow. All right. Deck list getting picked apart, and I'm getting picked apart too, huh? There's a lot to think about here. 3 losses in a row. The deck list does not deserve 3 losses in a row, guys. I believe that we can get there. Look at that one. All I had to do is just hold on to the Simulacrum for a turn. Actually, no. They had a Get Lost ready. I would have had to have anticipated Xur and kept both of my creatures back. I don't know if I would have done that ever, but I should try to do that, right? Like, we're not an aggro deck list. I definitely need to get out of the aggro state of mind, which is really hard for me to do sometimes. That being said, too, you know, the extra 5 damage for that turn, if it wasn't a Xur deck list, that pushes us a little bit closer. Every turn matters in a game of Magic, especially when you get that late into the game. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. All right, opponent goes first. Guys, we're 27 minutes into the video. Well, hold on. Let me go ahead, decide if I'm keeping this. I guess so. We had no issue finding mana last game. Let's see if we could pull it off again this game. Anyways, guys, hey, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you. Whoop, buddy. That's a lot to say, and I tried to say it fast too, so I'm not like holding the opponent up. Yeah, a couple turns to draw into mana, or a couple turns to draw into some ramp too, or early ramp, I should say. We'll be fine. We'll be totally fine. We'll be fine. Right? Third mana from the opponent. No creatures to hit with the Sawblades. It can only hit tapped creatures anyways, but mana, let's go. All right. Go Bandit Hall. The opponent's deck list feels like a Tear Asunder deck list. I didn't even see any cards yet. Don't look at my Bandit's Hall, opponent. Don't do it. Ah, okay, thank you, opponent. Sometimes the opponents are nice. 4th mana. Passes it back. Wow. Mana off the top. That's great news. I guess Mightstone, Weakstone draw a couple cards, right? At that point. We also have, no, we don't. Wait. What do I want to do? The best ramp here is Mightstone, Weakstone, but we don't have a white source then for the spring load, but I guess we don't care. 5 cards in hand, draw up to 7. No blue source from the opponent. This is pretty significant ramp too. It's really good actually. I'm pretty sure it's Mightstone Weakstone for the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So mana off the top would be 8 for the leveler. What on earth is the opponent playing, guys? Oh, Leyline Binding. Oh. Well, they found a great target, but if we find removal for the binding, like our Get Lost, we're going to get that ETB back for the Mightstone Weakstone. Which, okay, Eternal Wander. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough top end for now, game. We got a lot more to do here. I'm gonna draw 2. Right, it's probably Leyline Binding number 2 at that point. We only have 1 white source on the board, plus the Bandit's Hall, I guess. Bandit's Hall gets a counter because committing crimes is all too easy, apparently. We do have a lot of cards in here that target things. A lot of our top end too. 6 of our top end creatures target the opponent's things. Is really neat, right? Mightstone Weakstone. I guess we draw. We plan on playing things. Oh, I mean, we have to draw. They don't have anything for us to target. All right, Plains is pretty good. We still have 6 mana for artifacts. 2, 3, 4. And then we have 2 mana open for Spring-Loaded Sawblades. 1, 2, 3. 4 mana. I guess it's Bandit's Hall. And then go for Solemn Simulacrum, because we don't need the Spring-Loaded Sawblades open is the thing. It's kind of crazy, dude. It kind of is. The Eternal Wanderer, I think, is going to prove worth the 2 of, because especially in some of those losses, too, it could have been a really good card to see in some of those, right? Really, they're just passing it back, and I'm surprised it wasn't a binding number 2 or anything fancy. Well, I think I'm going to establish the Eternal Wanderer for the turn. I'm probably going to start with the swing on the Simulacrum. Like, Cityscape Leveler needs to be the surprise when they start dropping their other bindings and stuff, which is actually just... This is terrible news for the opponent. We also have like Crawling Barrens and stuff as well, but it should just be the Eternal Wanderer, I would say, for the turn. Probably plus on Simulacrum so we can thin the deck list, but is that necessary? We could just go 0, be happy about it, I guess, right? What the heck do I want to do, man? Yeah, let's go thin the deck list, because if we go 0, the opponent could just drop a Sunfall anyways. They go Get Lost on the Solemn Simulacrum. Okay. Okay. So we draw a card. Let's see what we see. Wow, Meteor Golem. That should also really come in handy. A Leyline Binding for the Eternal Wanderer. It's not terrible for the opponent. It isn't. Let's see here. We still have 1 mana open. So Archive, and we still have Spring-Loaded Sawblades then if for some reason we need that, which I don't think we will, but... Okay, Overlord, just full on casting it. See, unfortunately it's not tapped, so we don't have the Spring-Loaded Sawblades to hit. You can still just plan on crafting it, but that doesn't seem great at all, so... Another Meteor Golem. Oh, hi. Well, first of all, can't believe how much mana we have, dude. A Meteor Golem over Cityscape Leveler, because we're gonna pop the Leyline Binding. Commit some crimes for the Bandit's Hall. Then we go plus on the Eternal Wanderer. Meteor Golem, right? And then... Oh. I guess we'll keep it open. We have drawn Bandits all or Crawling Barrens. Start powering that up too. I guess that works, right? So Meteor Golem comes back. Pop the Overlord. That's pretty brutal, man. That's good. And our hand is crazy, dude. Up the Beanstalk. Nice. Yeah, I don't think we need the draw on the Bandit's Hall. I think we'll go Crawling Baron counters. Leyline number 3. It's no big deal. It really isn't. So which one do they take? Eternal Wanderer. Okay.
Others need my help.
They still got 5 cards in hand. It's kind of crazy to think about. Okay, plug some counters on this. Decline. I guess we could have... No, never mind. Never mind, because we exiled Meteor Golem. Right, so I guess at that point, Cityscape Leveler is fine. Pop the Leyline Binding. Again, just brutal, man. It's the type of deck list that they're up against because they're playing all this removal that is usually just really, really good. Foundry's open. Probably just Crawling Barrens again. I think I'll go for the swing on the Crawling Barrens, actually, for the turn. How do you guys feel about that? It is sticking, though. Leyline Binding. Number 4. Holy cow. Okay, then. Take action. Right, we'll swing for 7. Maybe. No, Barrens is out of here. Okay. This is a lot of spot removal from the opponent. Down to 13. And again, I'm not sweating about these Leyline Bindings at all. Cityscape Leveler and Meteor Golem in hand is just disgusting. Sunfall. Womp womp. That's pretty good for the opponent though, but we're okay. We're okay. Probably play Meteor Golem first. Okay, well, I guess we have enough mana to go Foundry first. Fabrication Foundry. This is their last Leyline Binding. Yes, it is. It's their last Leyline Binding. And then we go tap the white source. Kind of getting lost in all the excess mana. So Meteor Golem, Binding, Eternal Wanderer, plus on the Wanderer, pop up the Beanstalk, right? And then it's another turn where it's kind of awkward with the map tokens.
I've made it just in time.
I hope these land. It does. Okay, yeah, because we desperately need to take care of the up the Beanstalk because it's keeping their hand too stocked up. Fountainport as well as Bandit's Hall open for extra draw. Got their Incubator token we'll take care of another time. This should be pretty brutal for the opponent, but they're sticking around, which honestly, thank you, opponent. This feels like a pretty solid game where we're showcasing the deck list beautifully. It's really hard to think around all the excess stuff on the board at any given time. Wow, herd migration. There's a reason to stick around, huh? Wow. That's a lot of extra goodies. They still have the map token too. Might as well use it. Good thing we got rid of the up the Beanstalk. They would have just continued to... All right, they might swing with their 3/3. Spring-Loaded Sawblade might actually do the thing this turn. Fabled Passage. It's nice that all their Leyline Bindings are out. Anyone's game, guys. Going wide is crazy right now. It's really, really good news for them. If they get it up to a 4/4, so Spring-Loaded Sawblade's definitely going to land for the turn then. We do this. We don't want to block with Meteor Golem. Bandit's Hall. okay. And then we have the draw on the Bandit's Hall. At least one of them. Crawling Barrens, not bad. They fire bricks, not bad. Probably blink the Meteor Golem again. Still, they're still wide enough to be quite successful here. We could also go -4. That's also pretty good. Another herd migration would be terrible for us, though. Yeah, -4. We have another Eternal Wanderer, guys, in hand. So this makes too much sense to me. Cityscape Leveler. Bandit's Hall. Might be able to draw 2 off these Bandit's Hall. Alright, swing for 3. I guess Foundry for clay-fired bricks. I guess thinning the deck list matters. This is crazy, man. We actually have enough here. Wow, we have enough for a lot. We could have done more damage this turn. That's okay. That's okay. Just keeping the draws open on the Bandit's talent also works. Traxa, what are you doing here, dude? Oh, that's terrible news. But the good news right now, they only have 1 mana, so maybe Cityscape Leveler gets to stick around, pop the Atraxa. We'll get the 10 through next turn. I'm on the edge of my seat now, though. They find mana off Atraxa pretty easy, so untap source, removal for Cityscape Leveler. If it's exile removal, they do find the mana. I think that's game, though. I think that's it. See, we still had 2 open for map tokens if we wanted. Wow, Portal to Phyrexia is also really, really good, man. Let's get that down. Sacrifice that Atraxa. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. And then let's go for Crawling Barrens. Okay, good game opponent. Yeah, I was going to completely play it out, man, because wow, the opponents are sticking around, aren't they? 25% deck win rate. All right, guys, that's what I'm talking about. Beautiful win rate. Yeah, these last 2, it could have been a get lost. So, I mean, 4 Leyline Bindings, 2 get lost. Like, our engine was rolling and rolling and rolling. It's really hard to keep up with this many cards on the board at any given time, first of all, especially for me, man, because I don't play this style of deck list very often. That being said, I have been playing this style of deck list more often recently. Guys, let's go one more. Win or lose. If we lose, who the heck cares, man? Let's keep going. This is pretty fun. Push it a little overtime today. 42 minutes in. Could be another hour-long video, and that's fine. Why not? Excuse me, guys. All right. What you got for me, opponent? What you got? Beautiful first hand. Or beautiful starting hand. I don't know why I keep calling my starting hands first hands. I guess second hand would be like after a mulligan, right? So I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Opponent. Oh no, opponent. Oh no. Oh, at least it's Boros colors, I guess. We're still in danger though. With Hired Claw and Boros colors, it's probably Boros Burn. Or Manifold Mouse. What are you doing there? I guess Boros Auras, but doesn't run Hired Claw. I've been struck with confusion. So we'll have our turn 3 Unidentified Hovership regardless, if we're ramping with the Fabrication Foundry or not. But Eternal Wanderer ramping, so if we go Fabrication Foundry now, then turn 3 Archive will have 6 for the Eternal Wanderer regardless of the mana we see, but it might be too late by that time. So it might just be better to grab mana, go back up to 20, have Hovership for next turn, skip the ramp for a couple turns, because this gives us our 4th into the Archive anyways. I hope that's okay. Yeah, it might be an alright decision. Yeah, Unidentified Hovership exiles the mouse. Oh, it is. It's going to be Boros Auras. Does Boros Auras usually run Hired Claw? I don't think so. That's the opponent's addition, I suppose. And at that point, I wonder how many of those they actually have. Meteor Golem will be good when it comes time. So, Unidentified Hovership. It should probably hit Manifold Mouse, but Optimistic Scavenger is also really, really bad. Yeah, we should hit the mouse though, I suppose. We still have turn 4 Archive, but it's actually looking like it's going to be turn 4 Foundry with a Get Lost open, and then hoping that Get Lost lands and it's not a Shard Mage's Rescue from the opponent. Sheltered by Ghosts, Unidentified Hovership. They don't get the mouse back, but they do get a 2/2 on the board. A 4 mana Get Lost onto the 3/3 Hired Claw gives us Hovership back, and we can take the Scavenger. That's probably pretty good, right? The ward cost is what's really getting us here, unfortunately. Which means no ramp. Still far away then from the Eternal Wanderer. The ramp for the turn. Don't forget, Foundry can't ramp into the Eternal Wanderer. The main ramp in hand for the Wanderer is the Archive. We do this on our turn because they could have Shard Mage's Rescue on their turn. So here goes nothing. We want to hit the whole. We want to hit the whole claw, pay the 2, pick up the Scavenger, because that's one less creature on the board as well. That makes a lot of sense to me. What about you guys? I don't think it would be as good just to hit the Sheltered by Ghosts. And again, just getting Foundry down. We're not actually well, we'd be ramping into Meteor Golem, though. Scavenger number 2. The opponent has no shortage of creatures right now, unfortunately. Down to 8. Bandit's Hall isn't bad. 5th mana lands on the board. I think we don't have anything in hand that can help us here, guys. So we could die next turn, unfortunately. Powering up Crawling Barrens doesn't seem great. Archive, Bandit's Hall is okay enough. But yeah, we'd have 1/2 open, so it's Bandit's Hall instead. All right, opponent, do your best, buddy. I hope I'm playing this out well enough, man. Oh, might just be a Monstrous Rage since they didn't use the map token. Oh, Screaming Nemesis. What are you doing there, dude? Oh my goodness. They decide to flip into the Nemesis for the turn. Luckily, Meteor Golem's available. -4. If we go -4, it's similar concept. They'd keep the Scavenger. So it's just going to be Meteor Golem. 2 mana open for Foundry then, huh? So we can start with the Foundry. Then tap the Foundry for the artifact. Keep the Bandit's Hall open. Meteor Golem, hop the Nemesis. Commit the crime for the Bandit's Hall. All right. Let's see what you got, opponent. They drop the GGs. They get the GGs ready in return. It's just going to be a Burst Lightning. Oh, a couple Burst Lightning then, I suppose, right? Huh. A little bit of a different version of Boros Auras, I would say. Also running Burn in there. Yeah, good game, opponent. So it looks like their version of Boros Auras is also just leaning towards the Burn side of things there. 20% deck win rate, guys. That's what I get for saying I was expecting a lot from the deck list, right? Yeah, check out their version of Boros Auras. Look at this. It's like Boros Burn, but then also rocking, I'm assuming, all 4 Sheltered by Ghosts. At that point, too, I wonder what other auras they actually have packed in to work with the Scavenger. It's a kind of a surprising version of Boros, right? Because at that point, there was a real possibility that if that was just normal auras, that we could have sustained ourselves again. But them actually having burn meant that they could get around any additional blockers that we actually played. So actually, I really liked the opponent's deck list there. Right. Here's the deck list again, guys. Yeah. Wow. This poor deck list. Look at how cool this is, man. This is really neat. It struggled, and I struggled today a little bit too. If I would have played out some of those a little better, maybe we could have pulled off one more victory somewhere. Definitely let me know in the comments. Which one do you guys think? Or which two? Maybe there were a couple of those games where it really did come down to me. That's very, very possible. Excuse me, guys. Slowly but surely losing my voice. Crawling Barrens is the 4 of seemed a bit excessive. I thought for sure that we were going to have to use this as a win condition more often than we actually did today, but it's also not going to hurt anything from being in here. But if you don't have all 4, you could go up some planes. Guys, put this on the do not craft list. So I always talk like, oh yeah, like people are going to put this together, so like you want to avoid these rares and stuff, like don't craft these. No. Put this whole thing on the do not craft list because we just don't know. If we play another 5 games, we could win all 5. That's possible. But we could also go another 20% win rate in those next 5 too. And no matter how fun the deck list is, at some point you're going to start to get a little annoyed that you're just getting wrecked by the opponents every other game. You know what I mean? So put it on the do not craft list. A lot of rares in here, man. Fabrication Foundry's rare, Simulacrum's rare, which by the way, I'm using an older version. If you end up ever crafting Simulacrum, you probably want to craft the newest version, right? But also just always keep an eye on your collection too. Maybe you also have some of the older versions sitting around. Unidentified Hovership is rare. Mightstone and Weakstone's rare. Eternal Wanderer's rare. Meteor Golem, here's a little budget-friendly guy. There he is. There's our budget-friendly buddy. He's an uncommon. And then Mythic is Cityscape Leveler, and Mythic for Portal to Phyrexia as well. And then all the utility land outside of the Demolition Field is also going to be rare. So pretty expensive deck list. A 20% win rate in the video. Like I said, maybe some of that came down to me. Maybe it wasn't the deck list's fault. That's very possible. Actually, highly possible for at least 1 or 2 of those games, right? But that still leaves it on the do not craft list, I would say. You could maybe, if you have every single card, give it a shot and get back to me and let me know how it actually does. Or if it's one of those deck lists that really is just like too cool to pass up, you're looking at it like, oh man, like you're drooling to get some of your Cityscape Levelers down at long last, right? Then maybe just don't craft anything and base it completely on your collection. So for example, you don't have all these Simulacrums, you only got 1. Just play with the 1, go up like the Archive or something else that you have a lot of anyways. Like Bandit's Hall, that's also just an uncommon too. You could probably go up 1 or 2 of those and drop some of the rares that are also ramping you. Mightstone, Weakstone, maybe you only have a couple of those. Could go up again, a couple of those other ones that you do have. Maybe you do have all 4 Simulacrums, but not all 4 Mightstone, Weakstones. You know, kind of like, kind of flow your cards based on your collection. But that being said, I'm not saying craft a little bit less based on your collection. I'm saying literally don't craft anything for this deck list and completely base it off of what you already have. And I bring all that up because the deck list actually, it is really cool, isn't it? It's just one of those things where at the end, when we're talking about it, we do have to take into consideration how brutally obliterated we end up getting in each lost game, right? Or like, does it ever come down to a really close call? If we lose 5 games in a row and each one was just a real nail biter, well then like some of that might have come down to luck. A lot of that might have come down to my plays and stuff too. Then we can't really blame the deck list for losing 5 in a row if each one's really close. Those losses didn't really feel that close. I guess there were some moments where it could have gone either way, but I'll tell you what, Day of Judgment being a 4 of in here would probably come in handy, right? For 3 of them, we didn't really see it. More board wipes on the top end too. We could probably consider those Sunfalls now. Honorable mention for a very, very good reason. Remember that Fabrication Foundry isn't ramping into the Sunfall. It's a lot of little nuances in this deck list, guys. That's actually quite confusing. Like you're looking at it, you understand it, you know how to play Magic. That's all fine and dandy. But once it's all on the board, it starts to get very like messy very fast. Because like, for example, Mightstone and Weakstone can tap the double colorless mana, but mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells, which means you can use that double colorless mana to do something like Crawling Barrens, right? However, you can't do that for Fabrication Foundry. That's literally just for artifact spells or activate artifact abilities. And then Mightstone and Weakstone, of course, is the same concept as the Power Stone tokens too. You're probably not generating Power Stone tokens on your side of the board with Cityscape Leveler, but I guess you never know, right? The opponent's usually going to have something very important to pick up, so. And then like Archive, that's just double colorless that you can spend on anything. So that's just terrific ramp that you can use into like the Eternal Wanderer and stuff. Bandit's Hall, anything as well, but also mana fixing, which is actually more important than you would think for the white sources. 14 plains still felt about right, and 24 land felt about right too. I don't think I'd consider 23, but I guess that depends, right? I don't think you're going to flood very often, and usually you're going to want to hit mana every single turn. There's going to be some hands where you only have 2 mana in your hand, but it's actually a really good hand to keep, so you need to draw your third. It worked out for us today, didn't it? We actually did end up finding all the mana that we needed, keeping the 2 mana hands, but 24 land in here. Of course, every ideal hand is going to be 3 mana in the opener, 4 cards, like 1 removal in there too or something. So Spring-Loaded Sawblades is a one I've made a lot of sense for me today with the 3 Get Lost, and that could be something that we could think about trading around, but the Get Lost is just going to come in handy so often, guys. How often do you guys just pop the Sheltered by Ghost with the Get Lost versus pay the extra ward for the creature? I still think in that last game it made more sense to get rid of the actual creature as well, especially since it was Hired Claw slipping extra damage through anyways. But we also could have taken the turn for the Sheltered by Ghost, exiled the Scavenger, and also established the Fabrication Foundry. But again, just ramping us into artifacts, I guess it didn't really matter too much. Would have eventually ramped us into the Meteor Golem that we ended up seeing though, so a lot of things to discuss here, man. There was, I think, in a recent video too, there was a moment where I think I could have actually hit a Sheltered by Ghost, and it might have actually been a better target. I'm not sure though right now. Don't quote me on that. Sometimes the Sheltered by Ghost is going to be the better target. Oh, sometimes you literally won't be able to pay the ward cost either, so that's something too, right? What else, guys? What else? Is there anything else I want to discuss here? The double Fountainport, double Mirrex, all that makes enough sense, I suppose. Mirrex is like one of those things, like why not just go for Fountainports or something? Well, first of all, a variety in your mana base usually comes in handy, right? But also there's going to be turns where you only see the colorless side of your mana base. You don't see any plains, and you need to mana fix on your turn 2 for like a Clay-Fired Bricks, which then grabs you your plains, which will mana fix you for the rest of the game, or just grabs you your 3rd mana. So that way Bandit's Hall could also mana fix you for double white onto cards like Day of Judgment or Unidentified Hovership, right? So Mirrex literally in here as a land to help us mana fix just in case, but then also generates tokens and stuff, which works with the Fountainport, but also could be a potential win condition too with all your extra Phyrexian mites. So yeah, everything made sense. Dude, another video where we're almost at an hour long. Holy cow. Guys, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. Let me know what you thought of the deck list down in the comments. Did it deserve the 20% win rate? And definitely let me know where I could have done better. What would you add or take out? What does your artifact ramp deck list look like? Yeah, this was neat though. Oh, double Eternal Wanderers. Oh, totally worth it here, dude. I really like this card a lot. When I'm able to play it, I think this is the right deck list for the Eternal Wanderer too. So yeah, I like that a lot in here. Okay, guys, hey, enough rambling. I will see you in the next video.